A singing voice. Deep resentment ought to be washed away, for when the far one comes betwixt the burning doors, shall a star fall astray. Are you sure that we're going the right way? I don't like the sound of these weird songs. Oh well, the main streets are most likely teeming with those seeking to bring harm to the young master. We must venture on an alternative path after all. I see. And like I said, there weren't any skirmishes once we made it deeper into the dark alleyways, so I guess he was right. The lack of foot traffic would normally be pretty unsettling, but I guess that is what we needed at this very moment. As for the song, it's a song that becomes rather popular in the backstreets in the recent months. Well, the lyrics are pretty, ominous for a popular song. It is a song that spreads through a word of mouth. It sings of how to decimate the Kong family. This is not the place to discuss such matters though. I will share this tale in a more appropriated setting later, should we come across one at least. I didn't know there was a song like that. Is this the first time that you've heard of it too, Honglu? He's a posh kid for the posh family. I doubt he will ever set his precious, pristine feet in the back streets. So it's no wonder that he's never heard anything like it. I have been to the back streets before, but Heathcliff isn't wrong. I did spend most of my time in my room, after all. And that is precisely because you were the most treasured one of them all, young master. Much like how the jade of the greatest worth is to be cherished, prized, and hidden in the deepest of depths in one's coffers, who none shall ever reach. Holy damn! Outis! I'm gonna say it right now, girl. You're not that bad. You're not that bad. You have the same outlook in most cases, but you're not that strong. You're never coming off that strong. I'm like him? No, you're not. I swear, it's not that bad. He's much worse. He's 20 times worse. To a lesser degree. Particularly as of late in... So that guy used to work for the Year family, eh? Do you know him, Honglu? Oh, young master? Is there something on my face? Honglu stopped himself as though flashing in his head and glancing quietly in my direction. Then, it's nothing. Shall we continue walking down this road? You know him or not? Indeed, humble as I may be, I am very well versed in the roads of this area. Honglu shook his head at me as he casually changed the subject. Are you hiding something from me, Honglu? Ha! Why? It was as though he was trying to hide something that we know from Xiang Tao. Should we be suspicious of something? Any hints? Honglu? He is a collaborator, but only a temporary one. A degree of caution would be advised. Okay. Well, given Pilot's clear inexperience and naivety, we would do well to remain suspicious of this character. Considering how closely related he is to Outis, we might have a traitor at our side. Again. But we'll see. Faust and Outis approached me as Honglu was nodding along and chatting amicably with our guide. Well, looking back at our journey so far, I think we've learned our lesson about blindly trusting every collaborator that we've come across. With this growing mistrust in mind, I slowly made my distance from the guide before asking Faust a burning question. So what was that about back there with Virgilus? Something about him going off to help them out? The consequences of his action at Wuthering Heights. Oh. His action were a violation of one of the more important items in his contract with the company. He is simply taking responsibility for breaching the contract. Right, when he saved us all. I think back to the incident at the manor. It feels like such a long time ago. Well, what kind of a bummer, huh? He really did help us out of a pickle there. What? That is what they dragged him away for? Is there a problem, honored guest? It's nothing! Absolutely nothing! No problemo! Right, Vyase? What did you do? You idiot! Shut up! Oh god. Miss Solid, can you please carry heat for a little bit? He seems kind of tired. It will be done. Okay. Heathcliff, punched in the guts by the hilt of Ryoshu, fell forward right into Masol's welcoming shoulders. Rodiel? You know, the kind of person that I hate the most. The kind of dull people who just can't read the room. Don't you feel the same way, Dante? Sure. I nodded enthusiastically as something seems to imply that she wasn't really asking me a question here. We should probably be quiet about it. He shouldn't learn anything from us. I don't think she was about to punch my lights out, but it was a warning. Rodian and Ryoshu judges correctly this time. Classified company information must not be discussed in the presence of an outsider. Reminds me of the time that we got knocked out cold for a while because he kept asking questions without raising his hands. That guy just doesn't learn, huh? You successfully preserved the secrecy of classified information without spilling any blood. I applaud this policy. I did good, didn't I? I'm just not a fan of how they're treating Heathcliff though. You know? Kinda like dirt. Well, if it is no problemo as you said, then that is well indeed. Yet, I worry that it appears that the problem has found us anyway. I stopped and looked around, realizing that we were surrounded by a group of people wielding various weapons in their hands. Aww, what happened to finding us a safer path? Well, it is likely that my guidance has indeed given us a much safer path from the more obvious skirmish. However, to my great regret, it appears that the more observant of our enemies might have tried or rather have tracked us down. Damn it! Then what are you even here for? Isn't it your job to prevent this exact scenario? Let's just leave the finger pointing for later, alright? We have to do something around here. They must not be allowed to disseminate our current location. Exactly. Where are you slicking off to, Mr. Xingtao? I must regrettably and humbly say that my talents in war are terribly lacking, so I intend to become more scared for a moment. Yet I have the utmost of faith in the strength of our young master and the honored guest to overcome this adversity, so... He's hiding. Xingtao was already standing so far away from the front line that he was particularly hiding behind me. Great. Faust, anything that you can tell me about these enemies? No, but the constellation with the Gesellschaft seemed unnecessary if we are determined whether negotiation with them is an option. They are coming. Assault, please wake up Heathcliff and set him down. It will be done. How is he going to wake him up? Isn't he knocked out cold? If you punch him again, he might not even wake up ever. Oh. Fancy. Still bleed though. This time around with paralysis. Any additional effects? Passives? No passives whatsoever? If the unit has shield, inflict paralysis on the target. With shield? What do you mean with shield? You don't even get shield. Oh wait, you do get shield. For every type of negative effect on self, maximum of 10. I was about to say, you don't usually get the shield with a counter skill like that. Alright then, doesn't really look so bad. Let's go for the strong moves first, so that we get the sanity up. Repairing of mind, sure of course. do whatever's necessary and do a lot of damage. I have to say, those new IDs look really fancy! Look at her go! The ponytail! The ponytail! Oh god. Can't wait to get her myself. I think I need 1000 for that. But seeing how I only need to get 2 identities this time around, I didn't even bother to grind it yet. Probably going to get the resources after this dungeon anyways, right? All things considered, they usually give us just the right amount to ensure that we can acquire it. So let's see. You're going to get your poise up, your speed up, and everything done? Seems like it. And Rodion is just kicking everyone's butt. Perfect job. Let's see. 21 might be a bit of an overkill. That's enough. That's enough. 18 is good enough. That might be a bit tricky, but then again, I don't really have a choice. Let's go for... the 41 is enough. With the burn, it's certainly just enough. But then again, the next move is going towards another one, so the purple one is just going to add the strength. Okay, so as long as I don't roll low, they should all be able to win the clashes. Without issues. And it seems like it all went through without a hitch. That's good. 20. 91. Might be a bit too much, but then again, I do kind of need... I kind of want to stagger him. He has all the fragile that we could possibly ask for. 60. Need to break the shields. This one as well. 35 is enough. 33 is enough. Okay. Come on, Ishmael. You should be able to reach the stack above without any sort of issue. Perfect job. 5 stacks of burn as well. And never mind. She already killed him. Oh, this is great. This is just great. You're saying I just noticed you barely have any SP. We already had a fight a couple of rounds already. The others are almost maxed. What happened? Did you mess up a couple of your rolls again? Well, it seems like it. Oh well. It's probably fine. 4 is fun enough. 117. That's a bit overkill. It's okay. I don't want to build another raft chain. For the burn effect at least. There we go. Oh my god. The whirl! The jump cuts! The teleportation! The rapture! Okay! Just one more? I don't mind if I do, right? Don't mind if I do. 5 fragility, minus 40 SP. There's no way in hell that you have a chance. Well, that was pleasant. Oh, they even resetted our... Ah, this is great. This is great. They resetted our loading screen. For the next couple of scenes, we have the pleasure of seeing Virtuous. Hostility in the immediate vicinity has been eliminated. Our collaborator, who've been hiding far from the battle, quickly ran up to our side as soon as the fight has ended. Are you unhurt, young masters? Yeah, I'm totally fine. Of course, our honored guest's martial skills were all exceptionally brilliant, but of course, young master, your light was the brightest even amongst the incandescent. Okay. This humble servant would not hold back his tears at this wonderful sight to witness such excellent material martial art from none other than the young master himself. What an unexpected surprise! Does he always have to look so creepy while doing that? Pretty sure Outis never looked like that. You can instantly tell when he's lying. God! This is not a poker face! Not a poker face at all! But don't the children of the Year family undergo all sort of strict training regimens from childhood? Aren't they all skilled? Well, it was simply my assumption that our young master had ceased his training once he departed from the family. Ah, so you thought he was a slacker. Anyways, how do you think they tracked us down anyways? About that. It appears that we weren't exactly tracked down. Perhaps it may be that the ilk who lurk in these parts of the back streets recognize the young master's vulnerable countenance. Maybe it's because you speak like that they all recognize him as some kind of master. Maybe. I don't think my face is that well known. The family hierarchy evaluates a 9. Every soul living in Hongyong must know the face of the young master who is loved by every elder of the family. It must be that they are under the assumption that you are carrying something of great value. Family hierarchy? Didn't the action shoe say something about heirs back then? Well, they all assume wrong then. I didn't bring anything precious that the elders might be looking for. Oh, young master, even now? I just couldn't care less about it, that's all. Besides, many of my siblings are just much better fits to be the family hierarch than I am. Oh, that's... well, that is indeed a relief. What do you mean, a relief? Well, but of course, it is a highly dangerous endeavor to partake in the hierarchy evaluation, so it is of great relief to know that the young master is not putting himself into any kind of unnecessary danger. Are you sure? I guess that could be a relief. Sort of. Ew. Now that we took them all down, there shouldn't be any more of them on the way, right? Rick, can you please stop jinxing ourselves for 1 second? Why are you laughing, Ryoshu? Now I'm even more worried. Please, do not concern yourself any further. We will take a more Kendrous path. I guarantee a safe and easy passage to our destination. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's leading us to some kind of trap. Let's be serious, I don't trust him one bit. Well, I still have a hard time buying that. The layout of this place would constitute a perfect place to set up an ambush in most places. Yet you claim that this to be the safer path? Yet, I must ask you to place your faith in this humble servant of I, for Hongyong is not like most places. Fine. For now. Outis shut her eyes for a moment, out of retort, then turns to look at Ishmael. Hey, Ishmael, you must have a pamphlet of this place handy, right? No way. Are you actually going to read it? Why else would I be asking? No, I mean, how could I not be off guard after almost a whole year of getting brushed off by everyone every time that I pleaded with them to read that damn thing? Like hell, did no one even think to at least check it out? Why? I will find my own intel if you're going to just ramble on and on with your grievance. Oh, no, it's fine. Here. Outis opens the pamphlet and began intensely glaring on its text, as though she didn't want it to miss even the smallest of detail or information in there. Suspicious clear on her knitted brows. She knows it. He's up to something. You can't trust somebody like that. Look at that grin. Just look at that damn grin. He's lying through his teeth. Surely. Kessan? Who's Kessan now? Well, anyways, where's the bunny? There's the bunny. Hello there. Alright. Already ready. Oh, where's Virgilos? They already removed it and it seems like we got another attack. Great! We were on a desperate run. All the while fighting off hordes upon hordes of enemies? What? Oi, what happened to a safe and easy pass? Explain this! Well, it appears that the young master's Radiance continence was made known. I thought we were finding a more Chaldean passage. How are we getting jumped by even more enemies? As I have said, the young master's Radiance. At least try to give a little variation to your excuses. I cannot so easily say that he's being untruthful, given the disjointed allegiance of the enemies attacking us. Outis plays with the pamphlet in her hands, clearly frustrated but unable to establish anything concrete. Is she trying to find out if he's actually plotting against us? And deciphering the groups from each other? Well, for people without a clear allegiance to attack a member of the Geo family. Well, looks like everyone in the backstreet's been getting pretty plucky while I was away. Back then, I couldn't even catch a glimpse of their faces. They all be on their heads and knees whenever we walked past. What a wonderful change for once! Oh, please shove this wonderful change up your ass, you bloody loon! How much longer till we get there? My cancer's near. Calm your worries. What is a cancer? Our guide seemed oddly calmer now than he did at the beginning of his journey. Did he really get numb to all the violence that fast, or... Speaking of which, what even is that Kensan? It is a term commonly used to refer to a tavern, inn, or equivalent place of lodging in this region. A lodging, huh? Wait, a hotel? Oh, this is gonna be a pretty fancy one then. Do they like serve complimentary snacks, drinks, like the warp train? Not sure about that, but it seems like the Kinsa also serve alcohol and food alongside the lodging service. Maybe we can even get a meal in there. And phew, hopefully we won't be attacked there like this, right? Residential non-aggression taboo. Any mutual act of violence inside a resident building is within the particular area and floor upon you are considered a taboo. A taboo? So I guess we may rest easy within then. Seems like it. I saw Faust's eyebrows slightly twitch, as though she had just heard the most ridiculous thing. But I guess I'll ask about it later. Is he lying about the taboo thing now? What the hell are you What's going on, guys? Speak up! Speak up if it's lying! What is this? I'm noticing all those little clues from the others, like Kong Lu. Phew, man. If it's for some kind of family hierarchy or family head selection contest, why couldn't they just save all this fighting until... Because it would be too late. Huh? Late. How? Every higher candidate must have brought incredibly precious treasures with them. It would be nice if they believed that their own treasures is the most precious of them all. But everyone is going to try to take each other's just to be sure. I see. So just in case someone else brought something even better than their own, they want to ensure their victory. And might as well kill them too, just for the sake of convenience. Is that how the folks in your family think? What kind of line of thinking is that? Oh, but other families didn't seem too different from mine though. Damn. Deepest apologies for intruding upon this most enthralling conversation. However, we may be inviting even further trouble by dallying here. With that, the guide pulled out a watch to check the time. It will be night time soon. I swear to God, dude, don't stall for time. I know that we're supposed to fight some sweepers there. I know it. I've seen it. I saw the door. The entrance of this event was covered in sweepers. I know what's up. There's probably something going on with the sweepers. Don't stall for time. This is not gonna end well. There's no way this is gonna end well. There we go. That was the last of them. 2 waves of new encounters and already a repeat. Not a bad quota so far. Now, here we are. Okay, so is this the place? After running through alleyways after alleyways, after turning corners after corner, we finally came across the site of several small buildings tightly built next to one another. At the center of them was a building lit with red lamps, adorned with a door plate with complementary looking blades described over it. Oh, so this is shoddier than I expected, huh? Hey, isn't this place a bit too trashy to be considered a house for such a pristine young master? Well, that is not our building. Please, look this way to see where our honored guests will be staying for the night. Oh, I knew it! I heard so much from Hong Lu about all the splendor, all the... Huh? We followed Ching Ching's finger and arrived at a small warehouse of sorts. What? The exterior is painted in black. That looks smaller than even the Mephisto. I'm not going to dump us all into a warehouse, right? Can we even fit in there? Hey, that place looks even trashy as heck! Even for us! Let alone for your young master! This is the nearest Kazan that we can afford to stay in, at least amongst the one that I manage. Yet, its location in the back streets heavily limits to the level of decency that I can afford. My deepest and sincere apologies, young master. Oh, please, don't worry. We can always sleep in decent places. It looks just fine for an overnight stay for me. Are you nuts? Can that thing even fit all of us? Much did I wish to guide the honored guests to the family's mansion in the central zone. However, the time... Oh, the sweeping waves, huh? Doesn't that usually start at 3:14 in the morning? I feel like we've got plenty of time before it's getting here. Exactly. Don't we have more than enough time to get to the family's mansion? According to the H-Corp traveling guide, the central area is only like an hour away from here. Has the honored guest traveled to District 8 before? Well, no, this is my first time here, but... Then one must ask how the honored guest would claim to have the full understanding of the place, merely by flipping through a book when she hasn't had to contend with it in person. Innumerable, unpredictable changes await in this teeming jungle of buildings. That ever-shifting structure, the constantly changing paths, ambushed from foolish yet vicious syndicates or even officers of the back streets. Oh, we are bested by danger from all sides. Such bold and flippant approach to predicting the phenomenon of this place is to court even with death. Even a toddler must know that. Did you just call her a child? One fails to disguise his utter sorrow at the inadequacy of her wisdoms. What? Wait, is it just me, or are we all thinking back to Ishmael, back at the Great Lake? Hey, Sebedante! But if the guidebook lists a path, does it not imply that it is technically possible to reach there in time? Rota suddenly took a step forward. In her hands was H-Corp travel pamphlet that Ishmael was talking about. I have faith that if our exceptionally executive manager would lead us in your directionally challenged stead, they would have been able to lead us to our destination before nightfall. Are you serious, Outis? I don't even know this place. Me? Well, this does not appear to have been discussed beforehand, and... Oh, very well then. Allow me to speak frankly, without frills. My responsibility is to bring the honored guests to the central zone, and to ensure that the young master is safe. It is, indeed, technically possible to reach the family's mansion before nightfall in the back streets, commencing the technicality of the sentence. Yet not even an iota of danger to the master shall be permitted. The mission that has been so graciously bestowed upon this humble servant is not to guide the young master with haste, but to guide him with the utmost safety in mind. Oh, it is said that those engaging in strategy and planning must refrain wary of losing sight of their purpose, to stubbornly forge on towards the family's mansion in lieu of necessary intel to see when those mobs of assailants would end, is so wrongly prioritizing the journey over the destination. You! Oh, you! Wonderful, truly impressive. You have all the qualities of someone that I would trust with my life when devising a stratagem. This is the most fitting attitude for those who genuinely wish the best for those that they serve. What is going on here? Really? You're just going to start going along with him all of a sudden? Like this? I have misunderstood your intention. Truly. They sparked my ire by comparing some of your choice words with my own. Yet now, my eyes have been opened to the honest loyalty that lies within your heart. This humble servant did not imagine even this wildest dream that there would be someone who understand this fathom of his loyalty. It seems that the young master has certainly gained an eye for allies and fellowship. This is a cause for much relief in my heart. Listen to that guy! This one knows how to jest. What is going on? Are they basically becoming best buds now? I may have lost my cool for a moment there. Anyways, this man speaks true. It is highly likely that we would be exposed to attacks of similar nature were we to continue moving at this time. So what? She's just fully on his side now. But I thought you wanted to explore throughout the night. Or rather let me guide. Huh? That is when I realized that she was looking in my direction. The exaggerated smile had all but completely faded from her face, replaced with an odd but dead serious expression. When our gaze locked, she nodded. She must be completely turning around by that guy. Is this a way of saying so long? I'm gonna quit and go working with this guy? No! And as for this hotel, it is still much better than sleeping in outdoor tents barracks. We should be able to relieve ourselves at some fatigue here before moving on. Did you not earnestly insist on continuing our search for a better accommodation with the greatest villains, Miss Outis? Yeah, well, whatever. We get the point. Let's just go inside. My humble self can only behold your generous acceptance of this insufficient lodging with deepest gratitude. What are you doing? After all that serious talk, the man seems oddly relieved to hear our decision as he brought his fist and palm together. Architecture of today mustn't be judged with such haste merely by observing the exterior. The interior may hold ought to be a surprise of, so worry not. With Rodion surrendered, wouldn't that just be nice? We made our way into the building. It is right, maybe it's more spacious than one would think. We even got a plant here, and some couches as well. It's not that bad. This actually isn't so bad. It's clean even. This place presented a rather classic aesthetics. The landscape painting lining the wall give off a rather sophisticated mood. And it is much more spacious inside than it looks from the outside. Did they use some kind of space expansion technology in here too? Maybe. No, it seems that the building only appears small due to the density of structures in proximity. Well, the door's now open. Should my presence be required, I shall be in the small shed next to this building. Please do converse freely. The man smiled awkwardly and quietly excused himself as an excitement amongst the sinners began to grow. Meanwhile, Hong Lu stood a fair distance from the guide, quietly watching his face as he left. His expression was enigmatic, as if he were gazing upon the cloud, the flowers, or even the wind. Yet there was no light in those eyes. It was as if they beheld a storm cloud, a desolated field of wilted flowers, and a howling, destructive gale. So, you suspect something, Honglu? So I decided to ask. Not yet. I don't think. Not yet. Huh? Not yet! So, big brother, something fell off to you too, huh? Yeah! That is when we caught a familiar voice. Wow, Ching Chong, it's you! And so soon too! Yeah, I told you, I had a feeling we would be seeing each other again very soon. Have you been well, young master? Oh, I'm so glad to see that you're doing well, Mr. Wei. Oh wait, don't tell me you're staying here too, Ching Chong. I normally wouldn't have set foot in a place like this, but I ran into some kind of large-scale construction on my way back to the family's mansion. Had to come in through the back streets, pretty much like you. So we weren't the only one troubled by that random construction site, eh? Oh, hail today! Oh god. The confident look on Chun Chun's face was immediately replaced by that of alarm. Did she lose her memories again? Is she with you this time? Oh, no. Donna's the same as always. But she looks like such an airhead now, and... Young Xingqiu! Well, wouldst thou accompany me to the lunch but a moment, so that we may share a moment for catching up? About that. Sure, actually, you know what? Let's do that. Hold on. Jiang Xingqiu seemed to hesitate for a moment, staring at Dawn after hearing that her memories were, in fact, intact, before walking right up to her. I like that idea. Shall we? Wait, why don't you go and find a room for me to stay in while I talk some things out with her? Uh-huh. So what? You want to do some catching up, right? This is, Manager Squire! Loss of critical personnel may be a cause of disciplinary action, Dante. So that means I can't just, let her go, huh? I don't think there's anything wrong with making friends, though, right? Looks like Jingjun really likes Dawn, if she's comfortable enough to tease her like that. It's not Dawn that she likes, she's awfully just wants Dawn's power that she saw back then. My lady, this is hardly the appropriate place for... Fine, I'll try again later. Go get some sleep. I'm heading in too. Jingju sighed with a brief disappointment before heading into the lobby. So either she wanted to become a blood fiend, or maybe try to recruit her instead. I mean, she does kinda need more powerful allies, right? Or maybe some knowledge about the well? Well, let's all head inside now. So I and the rest of the sinners followed her into the lodging. Are we going to run into a problem? All things considered? Is there going to be a problem now? Not yet, but the suspicions are growing. Alright then, let's see. Everyone was busy looking around and commenting on various things in our lodging, but Sinclair appears to be the most anxious of them all. Sinclair? Something in here stands out, like image and ideal pictures. Oh, wait, did you call? Ah, I missed that joke you sang. That's not what I'm not... Anyways, am I the only one who feels like something stands out like a sore thumb from the whole picture? Oh, yeah, glad that you brought it up. I didn't say anything because I thought it was just me. Rhodia! So, what is so off about this place? Isn't it obvious? Oh! Where are the cups? I see a can of tea, but where are the cups? What is this? How could you offer tea without a cup? Huh? Never mind. Where all the complimentary snacks go? What's that mystery table in the center of the room? Oh. Huh? Oh, well, that's kind of weird. What's the table doing there? Well, its saturated color, quite a pleasant sight to behold. So, is it any better inside? What the hell is that hideous table? The caraffle, sparked by the particularly unslighted piece of indoor furniture, calmed somewhat once everyone made it inside the building. Of course, no one was able to discern the real purpose of the table yet. Okay. Every step on the floor leaves black residue on the shoes. Not only the floor, touching the wall leaves an unidentified black substance on one's finger. Not to mention how the walls ripple in old fashion. What could possibly be construction of this place? What do you mean wobbles? Black substance? Okay. It wobbles? Well, my guess is that the maintenance staff's been lacking. Maybe, but why is everything so neatly organized in that case? I've been to enough seedy establishment to tell when a place has gone a while without a tidy up. And at least it appears that each room is furnitured with a bed. While this is far from optimal, executive manager, we may be able to get some rest here. True. I guess they really didn't have the time to clean up at all. Yan Xingchu, the last person to walk in after having taken her time to examine the area outside the lobby, stared blankly around the room with an aghast expression. I'm not even sure what to say with this ridiculous negligence. Then found a room after leaving the scattering remark. It ain't the first time that we're sundering right into some shady business, ain't it? Let's just cross that bridge when we come to it, alright? I guess. Anyone could tell that there was something definitely wrong about that guy though, right? Yeah. Some sinners, including Heathcliff, had already slumped to the floor. Overriding expression by the desire to rest with a collective sigh of exhaustion. Well, it is pretty weird. At least we have a roof over our heads, right? In that case, Dante, perhaps this may be a good time to announce today's closure of business. Huh? Oh wait, right! I've never made this announcement outside of the bus before. Alright, well, I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners. Understood. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you'll all be given an approximate 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. As soon as you finished, the sinner each began to relax in their own way. Some slumped into their rooms, others lingered to speculate over the bizarre table in the center of the room, who are still lacking the cups! Goddamn! Also, I really like the painting on the walls. Why is it reflecting though? Is that a reflection? Okay, no seriously. The floor is reflective? That seems like a reflection. Weird. Outis? Save for Outis, that is. Well, got something to say, Outis? Yes, Executive Manager. It's about our guide, Qing Tao. Oh? Your new best friend from earlier, huh? Seems like you guys were getting along pretty well. What? That is simply untruth! Did you not see the signal that I gave you earlier? The nod? What signal? Oh, you mean when you nodded slightly in my direction, right? Indeed! That individual has an informational advantage over us when it comes to this location. Regardless of how sound accusations we came up with were, he would have been able to explain them away using his familiarity with the region. I thought, as the party with the informational disadvantage, it would be wise to feign camaraderie and friendship with that individual and go along with their plans while trying to dig out as much intel as possible. I seriously thought that suspicious guy totally won you over there. Executive Manager, I've been in this business for many years now. How could you even imagine that I would be fooled by an amateur spy who's so overly It's nothing. No, Outis. Outis' disappointment was palpable, but she stood herself as though she remembered that there were more important matters at hand right now. Well, it is uncertain as to how long this individual will be accompanying us. It would be reasonable to speculate that he approached the LCCB with the exhibit purpose of eliminating Hong Lu, Jia Bao Yu. I present the fact that it was Pilot, that inexperienced greenhorn, who somehow conveniently came across this connection, as another evidence supporting this suspicion. True. That is also true. Faust also has some information to share. Faust joined the conversation after listening to our discussion for some time. A review of every known taboo has failed to identify the one that he called resident non-aggression taboo, that universal prohibits action of violence within residential areas. I knew that he would be lying about that. I knew it! Of course! Why would there be such a law, right? Then that also has to be... It is too early to come to a conclusion regarding that matter. It appears that this area, Hong Yong, has taboos that changes depending on your location within its territory. It does? However, considering every other circumstance's evidence, we can come to the conclusion that he was most likely lying to us. Your assessment cannot be denied. In that case, we must already be deep within the enemy's machinations. The constant stream of random assailant that we faced earlier was also most likely also part of their plan, probably to tire us out, right? It may very well be that this building itself is also a trap, yet we lack the intelligence about this particular back streets to be certain. However, we do have one minor advantage. It seems that they have severely underestimated our capability, given the low caliber of assailant that they've decided to send after us. One thing that we can capitalize on is that mutual lack of intel. Keep your guards up, remain alert, and we should be able to navigate our way out of this trap, Executive Manager. Alright, I get it now. I'm sorry about this misunderstanding. Honestly, I didn't know who or what to trust here, even though I knew you couldn't trust him. Ever! Ever! Well then, I should appreciate it if you could trust me fully next time. Of course, always, Outis. Outis bowed politely and returned to her room. Faust and I chatted a little more about Qingtao and his plans, but our discussion ended without bearing much fruits. Don't worry, he's probably going to reveal his true face very, very soon, right? There's no way you can keep up with that charade forever. Witnessing? Witnessing what? And I can already see the yellow sign there. They're approaching. Please tell me you're not here as enemies. I would hate that. I realized that Hong Lu was missing as I was spending time chatting with the sinners. I didn't notice him going into his room, so I walked to the exit, about to look for Hong Lu outside, and ran into Jia Xingchu and Wei, who decided to stay in the room closest to the door. It's getting late. Where are you going alone without a guard? Oh, just looking for Hong Lu. Right. I can understand what you're saying, so... When it comes to conversing without the sinners, I find that there are two types of people. The first type usually says whatever's on their mind without pausing for or caring to even hear my reply. Given that this type of person isn't actually looking for communication with me, they just simplify things a little on my end. However, it also is oddly insulting as it seems as though they didn't recognize me as a human at all, but rather a wall, or just a standing clock to talk to. And the other type is the one that reads me so well, they might as well be able to read what I'm saying. Virtuous over there. Virtuous falls into that later category. He recognizes the pitches of my tick and talks, reads my body language and sometimes even claim to see a sort of expression like how Don does. And Xia, who saw through me with that short exchange. Okay, let's see. Just looking to get some early morning air. Does your prosthetic head even have receptorary functions like that? Wouldn't have guessed that from the way that it looks. Did not belong to either of those categories. She can't read me, and she doesn't want to hold a monologue either. No, not really. I'm just looking for Hong Lu because I haven't really seen him in a while. You are just shaking your head, so no. Then are you looking for something to eat? Oh my god. She's a new one. The type that tries to figure out what I'm saying without asking for help. My lady, would it not be wise to wake or find someone who may be able to translate it? They would have done that themselves if it were something important. I'm kind of curious though. What was that hand gesture that you made when I first asked? You, brought your index finger up to your cheeks. Well, Hong Lu always smiles. So I thought maybe I could simulate a smile to convey that I'm looking for him. Perhaps it was an effort to express cuteness? Wait! What? No! I was just trying to express a smiley face. No, it's not going to be easy, is it? They're tick-tocking a lot more vigorously. Hey, I think you're onto something. No, you're not! Oh my god! This conversation is starting to move into a very complicated, unintended territory. After a bitter trial and error. I see, so you're looking for my big brother, huh? Yeah! We took some very roundabout ways, but I was eventually able to get her to understand what I was trying to say. Why am I not just carrying a notebook around? Let's be serious! That would make things so much easier. Well, if he's who you're looking for, that wouldn't be easy. You should be able to find him by the lounge back there. I doubt he got very far from there, if he even left. So that is what you were trying so hard to communicate. The Actiongame was strangely enough disappointed and dispirited by my reply. I did have something to tell you too, but never mind. I feel like the mood's been ruined. Let's talk about this another time. I was curious, but it would also take ages for me to ask how she's feeling, so in order to express my gratitude before heading to the back entrance. Oh, there he is! And found Hong Lu, gazing at the hazy scene of the opaque window. So, what you doing over there? People watching, you know? There were some people stumbling through the streets outside. As I stare outside the window at the scene, Hong Lu seemed to sense that I was thinking and began. Are you worried about me, Dantel? Well, yeah, you know, it's your turn, Hong Lu. It really is. I'm back at H Corp, and everyone is talking about the family hierarchy selection. But you don't have to worry about me at all, because I did not wish for anything from Limbus company. Wait, you didn't? I'm not like he's saying. I'm not hiding my true feelings. No one gave me a wonderful promise, like they would to help me recover my fallen and broken wings. I joined only to have new experience, and that is all. But we do know that something is definitely going to happen, whatever it might be, something that will even shake you to your very core. That is a guarantee. Even if you didn't wish for anything, going through something like that could... Probably, yeah. But it's going to be okay. I'm used to being led by the wills of others anyways. So it's always being controlled. No matter what happens here, I can't do this like everyone else. Because that is how it's always been. Whatever happens to me, or to those around me, I only... Okay. A loud bolsterment below suddenly cut Hong Lu off, even before he could finish his sentence. Oi, let go of me! Just listen to that old sod talking and tell me that I'm not supposed to get mad at that! Dang it, lower your voice here! What are you guys doing back there? Are you guys eavesdropping? Gregor and Heathcliff, who were most likely hiding behind the entrance door, stumbled into view. I knew I shouldn't have come here with this guy. Couldn't you be patient for even a minute before bursting out like that? Okay, how long have you two been listening? I have no idea. From the very start. I thought he was finally making some sense at first, but what's that? You're used to following others' wills, orders and such? I didn't mean to irk you, Heathcliff. I'm only telling the truth. Bloody hell! I'm about to burst a vessel here! Oh, you buggy block! Am I supposed to practice patience after listening to that drive? I think I'm practicing plenty of patience despite you calling me a buggy block out of nowhere. So yeah, you are. That's not what I... Finally, some silence. Anyways, sorry about listening in, fellas. I'll let you in on some big secrets if you let this one slide, though. And what kind of secret? Gregor rubbed his arm awkwardly as I stared at him in silence, and then he pointed at a pillar in an exaggerated motion. Guess who's hiding behind that pillar over there, manager? Oh no. Outis? Ishmael? With that, two familiar figures stumbled into view from behind the pillar. No way! Sinclair? Ryosu? How could you betray us like that? B-V-A-H-A. I have no idea what it means. Bad, weak, and highly annoying. Good night, snooze fest, she says. What? Oh, wait, did I get that wrong? What were you trying to say? I never said good night. When did you get a FU? Oh! Ryosu looked at Sinclair with some interest before slicing open the ceiling above the entrance. And with an uncharacteristic red noise from something cutting through a wall, a black ink-like substance dripped onto the floor, followed by Rhodia and Outis! Oh my god, everyone! Get out of there! Well, I didn't realize I have garnered such an audience for my story. Executive manager! You know, the sole reason that I followed you out here was for the purpose of protection, of course, as I was concerned for your safety and nothing else. I'm not like the others who have followed you merely to sate their curiosity and, I was a sport. Well, then shall we continue the conversation? Are you sure? Everyone, back to your rooms! Now! The manager has spoken.